Well, it took me a while, but I finally managed to earn the Platinum Trophy in Tomb Raider The Last Revelation on PlayStation 4. And thinking back about how I earned that Platinum, there was one Bronze Trophy in this game that just made me really wanna... And that is, of course, the CROFT Tomb Racing Trophy, which requires you to drive ahead of the guide's jeep into the gate and into the last tunnel. And this trophy right here probably gave me the most trouble out of all 65 odd trophies in this game, and it's just a simple little bronze trophy where you race this vehicle, and there's two parts to this, and both are hell. So here's part one, the race to the gate. So straight away the BS hits you on this challenge because it starts off with you trying to drive up this narrow corridor and getting ahead of the enemy vehicle, but the corridor is just really tight and you'll end up clipping off the walls or off the enemy vehicle and just coming to an almost standstill while the enemy car just flies up that ramp like it's nothing. Your car will always struggle, so it's really awkward to just get up there, and you'll take multiple attempts before you somehow just luckily speed up there and get ahead of him. And if you do that, you'll want to make sure you back up your save so you can resume from there and not have to do that nightmare corridor ever again. Because this challenge is wonky as hell and it can screw you over at any given opportunity. Speaking of getting screwed over, look at this guy. He just clips me into the wall and I just stop dead, whereas he doesn't lose any speed whatsoever. It's just absolutely BS. This AI is not affected by any sort of physics in this game at all. Seriously, this guy you're racing against just doesn't give one solid F. And if you're in front of him, well, he doesn't care because he'll just drive right through you. I mean, look at this. I was driving here and my car just suddenly stops. And then the next thing I see is the enemy vehicle's just phasing through me as if he's Kitty Pryde from the X-Men. What a load of crap. And if it isn't his car that's screwing you over, it'll be the environment that you're trying to drive over, because your car will just go all over the shop because the handling in this game for the vehicle controls absolutely sucks. It's so floaty and finicky. One little tap and you'll send your car flying in the wrong direction. It's really awkward. And you've got to try and keep up with this car and get ahead of it for this last left turn, because if you don't, he's going to get in that gate before you and it'll slam shut behind you and you would have avoided the trophy. And I had to try this short little section multiple times. I swear it took me a good 20 odd minutes of just retrying it and saving my progress whenever I got an inch in front of him for a second. And I had to just do it over and over and over again, and it's just really, really frustrating. And I honestly can't imagine anyone being able to get this without save scumming their way through it, because it's just awful. And I had to just inch my way towards victory, saving bit by bit every time I got some progress, because trying to get through that gate first is a real challenge, but when you do, my god, what a relief.
But wait, there's more.
It's not over yet, Lara, because now we have the race to the exit, which also starts off in an awkwardly tight corridor where you're not going to be able to see anything other than the back of the enemy vehicle behind you, which makes going around this right corner really awkward, especially when you just clip onto some of the geometry that you can't really even see. I mean, look at that there. Completely takes me out because I clip onto something, but the Jeep, who's right behind me and level with me, just flies through it fine. So now you're going to always pretty much be behind the enemy vehicle at this point, but you get this sort of shorter section where you have to avoid all these pitfalls. That's pretty simple, and you'll be able to catch up with him by the time you get to the final section, the sand dunes. And it's here where you want to try and just cut as many of the corners as you can, because the enemy vehicle will go wide, but even when you try and do that, you can still get shafted by the enemy car. I mean, look, he's done it again there, look, just teleported right through me and caused me to come to a dead stop. Again, saves are your friend, so you can just replay it and just try and nudge your way to victory. And even then he'll still block you as many times as he can. And then this bit here, you're right at the end now. If you can get through there and drive up the hill, you'll reach the end level cutscene and you'll get the trophy. But look at this right here. I failed at the very last bit because he clipped me into the wall and I ended up finishing behind him and didn't get the trophy. So I had to replay that part over again and again and again before I eventually got lucky enough to be in front of him and pop the trophy. And honestly, when I finally popped this trophy, it was a huge relief because the nightmare was over and I'd never have to worry about winning this race ever again, because it honestly just sucked. And that is why the CROFT Tomb Racing trophy earns a BS rating of